Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the weekly edition of Big Time Sports. My name's Joe Dunn, and here's your invitation to stay with us for the next 25 minutes as we talk high school football all over Stark County. Well, they call it the fastest week of the year. 10 weeks, it's over just like that. You look forward to high school football, and it's finally over. The regular season concluded this past Friday night. Now it's on to the playoffs all over the state of Ohio. And the final week of the regular season is always rivalry week. A lot of big games. Let's check some of the winning scores and some of the winning teams right now. How about Hoover over Jackson, 35-14. Massillon won their 10th straight game over arch rival McKinley, 21-14. Perry shut out Glen Oak, 28-0. Tuslaw, 39, Fairless, 28. And watch out for Tuslaw in the future. Boy, first-year head coach Brock Dial has come into Tuslaw and done an outstanding job. They're going to be tough to handle in the upcoming seasons. How about Alliance? The Aviators are 8-2. They're in the playoffs. They beat Marlington 41-6. East Canton 7, Malvern 6. Canton South got a big win over West Holmes, 56-48. That got Matt Dennison and Canton South into the playoffs. And in a backyard brawl, a big rivalry. How about Northwest losing to Manchester this year, 21-7. Big win for Kevin Stacy and the Manchester Panthers. As we said, it's week number 1 of the state football playoffs, and Big Time Sports will have their game of the week over at Robert Fife Stadium in Jackson. Division I, Region 1 playoff game between Jackson and Brunswick. I'll be over there along with Troy Richardson for the play-by-play and color. You can watch that game right here Friday night at 11 o'clock and again Saturday morning at 9. That's our Big Time Sports game of the week. In addition to that Jackson-Brunswick game, some of the other big playoff games around the area we'll be watching and talking about next week. How about Green at Garfield Heights? Columbus Northland will be over at Hoover. Louisville at Westerville South. Alliance at Geneva. Both those teams are 8-2. Salem at Northwest over in Canal Fulton. Canton South at Columbus East. And Lisbon at East Canton. Again, congratulations to all the teams that are in the playoffs and will play in week number 11. We're going to take a break. Our featured team this week, the Lake Blue Streaks, they got a week off. They are a team that already is in the playoffs. They're going to sit and watch and get a well-deserved rest. Head coach Dan DeGeorge is here to talk about Lake right after this timeout.
The all-new 2026 Chevy Equinox is here at Bear Chevrolet Toyota. Sleek, smart, and ready for summer fun. With advanced tech, bold styling, and room for the whole crew, it's the perfect ride for every adventure. Stop in today, take a spin, and see why everyone's talking about the new Equinox. Bear Chevrolet Toyota on the Wabash in New Philadelphia.
You're only as good as your people. And what we've done here is that we've created a culture where people flourish.
We don't want it to be a transaction. We want it to be something where there's a consultative approach, a relationship that allows us to really, one, ensure our customer the right way, but then two, to let them understand the value of getting to work with us.
It's an extreme amount of satisfaction for this team that we have right now. We've developed a team that is solely based on relationships.
Rabbit Landscaping is Northeast Ohio's premier residential and commercial landscaping establishment in Jackson Township. They provide an ample amount of services including landscape design, hardscapes, deck and fence installations, outdoor lighting, lawn maintenance, leaf removal, and snow removal. Rabbit Landscaping aims to provide a quality, trustworthy landscaping service to your area. Call for a free quote at 330-936-7616.
Okay, welcome back to Big Time Sports. As we said, our featured team this week, the Lake Blue Streaks. Veteran coach Dan DeGeorge is here to talk about his football team. And Coach, welcome to the program. We were kind of talking before the show started. This is the fastest 10 weeks of the year for me. Everybody looks forward to high school football. When it gets here, it flies by. I'm not sure if it's the same for a coach or not.
No, absolutely. First of all, thanks for having us. The players and I were talking about that exact thing walking in, that we can't believe it's week 11 already. Sometimes you don't feel like that when you're in the midst of it, but you blink and it goes quick, and that's why we always tell our kids, man, savor every moment, because it's a special thing for sure.
Exactly. You finish the regular season 7-3. Now you earn the right to sit and watch and kind of regroup physically and mentally for the playoffs. And again, we were talking before the show, you're not sure you like this week off or not.
Yeah, definitely something new. I like playing, like practicing, sticking to our schedule. So we adapted our schedule a little bit this week. The positives from it, I think you can get a couple kids healthy and get your legs back underneath you a little bit. So we're going to do that. But yeah, definitely different. We're going to work on some fundamentals and work on us a lot this week, which we need.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing as well, and we'll make the most of it for sure.
Yeah, most coaches I talk to about this time of year, maybe weeks 8, 9, and 10, they slow down a little bit, conserve that energy, especially if you're going to get into the playoffs. That's a long grind.
Sure, it really is. I talk all the time to our boys that, in my opinion, football is the hardest sport there is.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
You're practicing way more than you get to play. You know, you play basketball, you play baseball, you play a couple games a week, but our guys grind it out in the summer. So yeah, I think when you get to that point where you know you're going to continue, sometimes backing off is a little bit to keep their legs fresh and make sure they can play the long haul.
Exactly. What did you guys do pretty well this year? You win 7 football games. You look back, you say, man, I think we did this pretty well, but I really wasn't satisfied with a couple things you didn't do right.
Sure, a very productive season in a lot of ways. All 3 of our losses were to playoff teams, all by less than a touchdown. So we were right there in all those games.
Yeah.
A lot of if we would-haves and if we could-haves, which is hard to face yourself with on a Saturday morning when you know you might have could have won a game. But we talk also, like, you know, to learn from our losses as well. So we got to learn from some mistakes. We made too many last week against Green and gave a game away, and we got to learn from that and not let it happen again.
At this time of the year, there's always a couple, maybe more than a couple young guys who maybe started out way down on the depth chart in August, and here they are, key members of your football team. Did that happen this year? Some guys maybe not come out of nowhere, but some guys maybe exceeding your expectations.
Sure, we have a lot of guys doing that, and a lot of that came from some of our early season injuries where some guys had to be ready and step up and play for us, and a lot of those are in our junior class. And yeah, I could go on and on with names, but since we've had so many injuries, we've had to have so many guys step up and play a lot of football for us. So they got a lot of good experience, and it's helped us as well.
Yeah, you mentioned you know, high school football is very physical. Every team expects injuries, but reading and watching your program, you have more than your share this week. How'd you handle that stuff?
Yeah, we've been dealt with a lot of injuries. You know, we start the season, and Davis Matson, who's with us, had an appendectomy. We didn't have him for the first 2 weeks. Then we lost Ty to a broken ankle, and we've had a handful of other things where we've had maybe concussion here and there, and we lost our starting nose guard Friday night early in the game, and that really affected us. But it's part of the game. It's one part of the game I don't like is the injury part, and you got to have the next guy ready to go, and guys got to be ready to make plays when they get their number called.
Exactly. You brought 3 players with you tonight. Why don't you do this young man to your left and what he means to your team?
Sure. This is Davis Matson. He's one of our senior captains, starting running back for us. Has done a great job getting the majority of the carries for us this year. I played a lot of running back last year, split a lot of time with Charlie Christopher. Has just done a really good job both on the field and off as one of our captains.
Well, Davis, welcome to the program. I've watched you play the last couple of years, enjoyed watching you run the football. You missed a couple games early. How much did you miss it, and did you know you'd miss it that much since football is such a big place in your life?
Yeah, I mean, I knew I'd missed it a lot, but watching those first 2 games from the sidelines really hit a place deep in my heart, because you practice all summer. Like what Coach said, you practice way more than you play. And having to practice all summer and then having to get my appendix removed right before week 1, it was just hard to all that happen. But I knew that I would be back in time to play week 3, so I was just really doing everything that I could to support my teammates those first 2 weeks.
Of course, you were one of the bigger running backs in the Federal League. They listed, what, about 205 pounds maybe, and really a fast football player. Were you always a running back, or did the coach, did George see and say, I'm going to make you a running back?
Well, I think my first year playing running back was 6th grade when I was still in the youth football program at Lake, and so ever since then I've just loved the position, so that's what I stuck with throughout high school.
What is it about Lake football that breeds toughness? Because everybody knows in Stark County, you line up against the Blue Streaks, you're going to have to buckle it up and take some hits. Where does that come from? Is that ingrained in you, or you just pick it up from guys who were ahead of you in the school year?
I think it's a little bit of both of that. Like youth football, we have a really great youth football program at Lake, and I think a lot of it starts there too. But then once you like get into the high school level, our coaches really like pounded into you that we're going to play tough Blue Streak football here at Lake.
Yeah, you heard us talk to the coach about this off week. Are you ready for the off week? Do you need some rest? You missed some games, so you could probably go right now. But
Yeah.
can you feel the team maybe needs a few days off to get 100% healthy and
for sure.
ready
I think
to go?
our bodies need the bye week more than we actually want it. Like,
Yeah.
I think the bye week will help us recover all of our injuries. Like he said, Zach Kutzera, our starting nose guard, got injured, but he's already back to walking around. So I think
Yeah.
that this week will help him, and it'll help Ty get another week
Sure.
under his belt for his recovery.
Yeah, we always talk to the players that come in every week to tape our show about growing up in their respective communities, playing football with the guys they started maybe in kindergarten, first
Yeah.
grade. Can you look back and the kids you walked into school that first day, maybe you're 6 or 7, you're still playing football with them?
Yeah, I mean, our quarterback now, Alex Quire, he's been my quarterback my whole entire life, and I think that helps in our backfield because we just have some chemistry that we've grown up with.
Yeah. Tell us about playing football in the Federal League. It's known all over the state as one of the tougher leagues.
Yeah.
What about some of the advantages of playing at home in the Federal League, and maybe the mentality of getting on the bus on Friday and playing on the road?
Yeah, I mean, Federal League, it's a tough league, and we know that we can throw the records of the team that we're
Yeah.
about to play out of the window. It's always going to be a dogfight playing a Federal League team.
I would guess maybe football at the next level is something you've at least thought about, and
Yeah.
maybe hope you have the opportunity. What were your thoughts on now, and where would you like to study in college aside from football?
Yeah, well, I've been going on a bunch of visits and everything, and I don't really necessarily have a college picked out, but it's definitely something that I want to do in the future. And I know that I want to study education, but I just haven't found out the right fit for me in the college level.
Well, education tells me that maybe you end up wanting to be a coach
Yes,
someday,
sir, yeah.
because teach at the high school level and
Yep.
coach. Tell us about your aspirations there. Would you like to stay maybe at home in Lake and be an assistant someday and
Yeah,
work
I
your
think
way up?
that would be really cool, but that's always the goal. But my grandpa was a teacher, and he's always loved it, and I loved listening to his stories that he would tell me growing up. So I think that plays a big part. And then I've always had important coaches in my life that made me really love the game. So I just want to be that person to the younger generation.
Well, I'll tell you much, as you love football, I think you'd be a great coach, and best of luck in your future.
Thank you.
He's the type of guy that really makes it fun coaching. He wants to be a coach. He's really been a player for you, and that's what makes it fun to coach.
No, absolutely. That's why Lake's a special place to be. Not only do we have good, tough football players, but we just have great kids from great families, and no other place I'd rather coach at, for sure.
There you go. Coach, stay put. Davis, thanks for coming over today. Best of luck to you in the playoffs. We're going to take a break because we have 2 more players to talk to on this week's edition of Big Time Sports.
The all-new 2026 Chevy Equinox is here at Bear Chevrolet Toyota. Sleek, smart, and ready for summer fun. With advanced tech, bold styling, and room for the whole crew, it's the perfect ride for every adventure. Stop in today, take a spin, and see why everyone's talking about the new Equinox. Bear Chevrolet Toyota on the Wabash in New Philadelphia.
Altman is here for you, in your community, because you matter. We're proud to be the area's first and only independent health system. We are one team, joined together and committed to one mission, to lead our community to improved health. And we've always been here, dedicated to providing you with the very best in care, wellness, education, insurance, and more. For your community and for your family, Altman is always here for you.
Certified by the American Lighting Association, Furbay's Light Shop is your go-to for all lighting needs, residential, commercial, or industrial. Our experts assist with every detail, from bulb size and fixture type to designing layouts. Visit us for hands-on displays showcasing various fixtures, or log in to furbay.com/lightshop. Let us help you visualize the perfect light for your space. Whether you need advice or want to explore lighting options, stop by or log in to Furbay's Light Shop today and see how we can brighten your project.
Okay, welcome to Big Time Sports as we get ready for week number 1 of the state football playoffs. I was just with head coach Dan DeGeorge, who's the head coach at Lake. They're a future team this week. And a quick reminder, I'll be over at Robert Five Stadium in Jackson on Friday night. That'll be our Big Time Sports game of the week. The Polar Bears at 5-5, Brunswick at 5-5. Troy Richardson and I'll have the play-by-play and color for that one. So tune in right here Friday night at 11 o'clock and again Saturday morning to watch that one. Coach, playoff week number 1, you'll get either Willoughby South or Hudson. What do you know about those 2 teams?
Both
Not much yet, I guess. You haven't looked at tape, or have you?
Well, we actually scrimmaged Hudson this
Okay.
year. In the first scrimmage, we've been scrimmaging them for a couple years, so we're a little bit more familiar with them. Have seen them on tape a little bit. Willoughby South, not so much. But like I mentioned earlier, this week we're just sort of waiting to see what happens there, taking care of ourselves, fixing the things we can fix, and concentrate on maybe getting a little bit better fundamentally in some areas.
Every week I talk about the coach who I have on the program, and every week I get the same answer. You're looking ahead to the playoffs, who you're scouting. They say, no, we're just taking it game by game. Now you can't say that because you know exactly who you're going to play. It's going to be Hudson or Willoughby South.
Sure, no, absolutely. It's good to know that. You know, when you're in the course of the regular season, it's really a grind, particularly in our league. Every week's a very, very tough battle, so we try to keep that, you know, try to go 1-0 mentality and not look ahead at all, and our kids have done a good job of that. And but now, we're going to go as a coaching staff Friday night, go to the game, scout them, get to know both sides really well, and go from there.
There you go. Do you like the new format that the OHSA has come up with, 12 teams instead of 16 teams? I like the 12s because, as you well know, as a football coach and a football fan, there can be some embarrassing games that first week.
Sure. I do not like the bye setup.
Okay.
I would have, you know, said keep it how it is or go back to 8.
So you'd have one play 12 and then go from there?
Yeah. I don't
Okay.
think the bye thing overall is a great thing. I also think they should balance the divisions out like they did in all the other sports as well.
There you go.
So.
You got a young man. I don't think he's a running back, the guy sitting next to you. Why don't you talk about him and what he means to the team?
Yeah, this is Owen Snyder, again, one of our captains, our left tackle. Has played and started offensive line for us for 2 years, 3-year letter winner. Big part of us being able to run the ball successfully and also throw for a lot of yards this year as well.
I'll tell you what, welcome to the program. We just had Davis on the program. It must be nice to be able to block and open up some holes for a running back like that. How much fun is that to pancake somebody and look up and he's down the field?
Yeah, it's so much fun. Just like opening holes up for Davis and then pass blocking for Alex. Like, it's just, we have so many playmakers around us. It's just great to.
Yeah, we talked about the toughness that Lake football is known for, and I guess the offensive line, you have to feed off that because you're the front row. You got to start that nastiness and that toughness up front. And tell us about that group and how close you are.
Yeah, we're really tight. We go out to wings sometimes, and we're just like, we're all like a family together, and the blocking is just great.
Sure. Every offensive line I've been around, they got a special name for themselves. Usually it's the Hogs. And the guys got a name for you guys? You're just one big happy family.
Just one big happy family. There you go.
I'm assuming you have always been an offensive lineman since you started playing youth football. Any desire to have those daydreams? Maybe one day the coach will hand you the football in a short yardage situation and say, go get it?
For sure, but that's probably not happening. But yeah.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, how much fun has it been playing football at Lake? I go over there, once or twice. We do a game from Lake. I love the facility. I love where they put us in the press box. How much fun is it playing football over at Lake and all the great fan support you have?
Yeah, the atmosphere is crazy. The fans that show up in the student section, it's just like great. It's so much fun.
When's it all start in game week for you? I mean, you got practice every night. Does it build, the intensity build through the week, or do you have to temper that a little bit to get ready on Friday, or how do you do that?
It starts in practice. Like, we got to bring the energy every week or every day, and yeah, just go all out the whole week. There
you go. What about college? I mean, you've got the frame, I think, to play at the next level. I've watched some of your social media stuff. You've been in a lot of places, events, a lot of different schools. What about playing at the next level? How much have you looked forward to that through your life?
Yeah, I really look forward to that. I was put in a great position with great coaching, and it's just, it would be a dream. And yeah.
What if you could grade yourself? You could sit up in the stands maybe and grade yourself. Are you good at the pass blocking, run blocking? What do you think your strength is right now, and what do you continue to work on?
Well, run blocking is probably my favorite with all the pancakes, but I think I'm probably better at pass protection.
Yeah. So when you get in that huddle and the quarterback calls that pass protection and you know exactly what you got to do, how much fun is that to know you've held that guy out? It gives the quarterback time to throw the football.
Yeah, it's great. And the guys next to me are really good too. We give Alex a lot of time in the pocket.
Yeah, we talked to Davis about coming up through youth football with young guys he went to school with. Is that the same for you? You can remember maybe meeting some of the guys, the offensive linemen you play with for the first time, and you're still with them?
Yeah, we have a lot of juniors on our line, but we've grown up all together though, every single year. So.
Who were some of the offensive linemen you looked up to coming up? Maybe you came into the program as a young ninth grader or a freshman. There were some of those big veterans up there, seniors that had played. Maybe you looked up to them. What kind of leadership did they give you, and did you pass that on maybe to some of these young guys now?
Yeah, there was 3 that I really looked looked after, and it was Anthony Miller, Styles Diaz, and Cohen Stahl. All those play like big impacts and like made me like push to like work harder.
And what are you doing now with some of these young guys that you're kind of mentoring a little bit?
Yeah, I've taken Landon Hoover up to get training and been to camps with him and just like mentoring them and film and everything.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's been fun watching you play football at Lake. Best of luck throughout the playoffs and at the next level. Thanks for coming over tonight.
Thank you.
Okay. Coach, stay put because we got one more player left to talk to as we get ready for week number 11, first week of the playoffs. We'll talk about that and more right after this timeout.
The all-new 2026 Chevy Equinox is here at Bear Chevrolet Toyota. Sleek, smart, and ready for summer fun. With advanced tech, bold styling, and room for the whole crew, it's the perfect ride for every adventure. Stop in today, take a spin, and see why everyone's talking about the new Equinox. Bear Chevrolet Toyota on the Wabash in New Philadelphia.
With Bell Store's Bell Buddy Rewards, you save in-store and at the pump. New members receive 20 cents off per gallon as a welcome gift. Everyday savings are made easy. Instantly enjoy 3 cents off per gallon just for being a member. When you spend $25 in store, unlock an extra 5 cents off per gallon on your next fill-up. Buy 5, get 1 free. Track your drinks and earn free coffee, fountain, icy, and espresso with drink clubs. So start saving today. Download the Bell Stores app and sign up for Bell Buddy Rewards.
It's always that personal touch that they know you.
Primetime has people that can help you through every step of the way, and when you're my age, you need that extra help.
You don't want a lot of questioning when you're already dealing with a medical issue. Primetime is trying to help us get down the road as long as we can.
And if you're not in the right situation, a senior can lose everything. I feel with Primetime we picked the best program.
Well, if you just joined us, we continue our conversation with head football coach Dan DeGeorge and the Lake Blue Streaks. And Coach, last week on this program, we had Scott Garcia in Glen Oak. Of course, he's also the athletic director over at Glen Oak. And I brought up the NIL and how it's going to affect schools. And I'm not sure if it's going to affect you guys. Are we going to see every football player running around with Hartville Kitchen on their helmet someday? Or how's that going to work over at Lake?
Yeah, I don't think you have to worry about that in our town, at least not in my time there. But yeah, some crazy stuff going on with that for sure.
Did you ever think, you're an outstanding football player at Hoban, then at Malone, did you ever think it would filter down to the high schools, or is this something that everybody expected?
I didn't think it would ever happen, and I hate to see that it is happening. I think it takes a lot of the purity out of the game. I still believe Friday night high school football, playing in your hometown, is about as pure as it gets, and is about as good as it gets in the whole football experience. So, yeah, I hope to put a stop to it if that's at all possible.
Exactly. You got a young man sitting next to you that you brought over. You brought 3 players. What about this young guy?
This is Kyle Hammer, again, one of our 3 captains, senior captains, starting inside linebacker for us. Been playing that spot for 2 years. Does a great job of that. Gets us lined up defensively. So sort of like our quarterback on the defensive side.
Kyle, welcome to the program. I was doing a late game, I think. I'm not sure what game it was this year, but I love Kyle Hammer, the linebacker. I think I said that 2 or 3 times on the air. I love it. You can't have a better name for a linebacker than Kyle Hammer. Do people notice that a lot? Do you like that, or don't you notice that at all?
Yeah, I mean, growing up, everybody jokes around like Hammer Time, and like that's the greatest name in football. But Yeah, I mean, I always go with it and, play like my last name, so yeah.
Have you always been a linebacker? Have you always liked that side of the football?
Yeah.
Or is it something maybe Coach said you're going to be a linebacker and you just fit right into the role?
Yeah, ever since I was little, I've always played linebacker. I mean, it might sound bad, but I've always liked to lay the hit on people or even hurt people, so it's always been my position was linebacker.
Yeah. Of course, linebacker, you got to be one of the toughest guys on the team. And how do you flip that switch on Friday night? I mean, from a mild-mannered student athlete at Lake, walking the halls, shaking hands and smiling, how do you flip that switch and become a big-time linebacker?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a process from going to school and then going to the game, and you have to play for your teammates. And I just think the fact that you have to be there for your teammates, you have to go all out every single play.
How many surprises you get on a Friday night from an offense that you've watched on tape all week, and something pops up you're not expecting? And how long does it take you to adjust to that? Do you kind of handle it yourself? You come back and talk to your defensive coaches, or how does that work? Or maybe it hasn't even happened this year.
Yeah, some plays, they run in the game that I haven't seen on film. I adjust, or I remember a game against Perry. They ran a pass play that they picked up 15 yards, and then the second time I ran, I knew that they were going to throw at the same guy, and I picked it off. So just in-game adjustments like that, where I could see the pattern or what they want to run on a similar looking formation or anything like that. Yeah.
How much time do you spend on watching tape during the week? I know you got to get your academics in, but how much time do you spend maybe at home watching a little extra tape?
Yeah, for sure. Once I'm done with my homework, I just immediately go to the film an hour or 2 hours every day.
Talk about fitting the academics in, because you're a student. You get to school early Monday. You got to hit the books. You got to study. Then you got to go to practice. Then you got to get home and get something to eat. You got to get enough rest. You got to hydrate. Time management to me seems so important with a high school football player. How do you fit it all in?
Yeah, I would just say prioritizing your work, especially during the day. If I have privilege or a study hall, I make sure to get my work done during school, so when I get home I can shower and eat and watch film, so I'm not rushing and doing homework late at night.
Can you remember the first person that put a football in your hands and you fell in love with the game, and how old were you when that happened?
Yeah, I would say my dad, or my older brothers, because I've been playing football since I was little, because it's always been I have 3 brothers, so it's always been a rough household, so we've always played football and basketball, all the sports. So yeah, definitely my dad or my brothers.
When did you finally get into organized football? Was it in the youth program at Lake? Tell us how old you were, and was it flag football, or how did you get introduced to the game?
Yeah, my first year was 2nd grade. I was 8 years old. Yeah,
8 years old.
Yeah, it was tackle football.
Tackle football.
Yeah.
Anybody say, wow, you're too young to play tackle football, or you just kind of loved it from the minute you got into it?
Yeah, I mean, I loved it since I got in there. I played quarterback and safety, and I just loved the game.
Exactly. What about your plans in the future right now? You still got a lot of football left to be played at Lake, but let's say once football is over, decided what you'd like to do for a career, or is it much too early to think about that?
Yeah, I definitely want to go to school and play football, like at the D3 level, Baldwin Wallace, Heidelberg I've been looking at. So, yeah, and I want to study finance probably. Is what I want to go into.
So money management and take care of money.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I can use some of that too. Make sure you get that degree and come back and look me up. But I'll tell you what, it's been fun watching you play football. You got a lot of football left. This week off now. Are you kind of recharging the batteries a little bit, getting ready for that first week?
Yeah, definitely recharging the batteries, getting mentally recharged every day, just kind of resting, but still watching film. Still taking mental reps, maybe not as physical stuff, just to get your body ready for the next week.
I'll tell you, it's been fun watching you play, and best of luck the rest of the way.
All right.
Coach, when you saw him for the first time and knew his last name was Hammer, you knew he was going to be a linebacker, right? Tell us about that.
Sure, absolutely. His older brother played for us as well years ago, and same thing. I don't know how often I've called Kyle. We just all call him Hammer, right? But his older brother played receiver and DB for us. He's got a younger brother that'll be a really good football player too. So yeah, it's definitely an awesome football name, but very good football family.
Exactly. Coach, it's always fun having you guys from Lake come over. Best of luck in the playoffs, and hope you make a big run.
I appreciate you having us. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for watching. We're back next week with more Big Time Sports. Have a great week, everybody.
This has been the Big Time Sports Show. Big Time Sports Show. With your Big Time Sports guys, the mellow tones of Charlie Jones and the voice of the Akron Zips, Joe Dunn.